Good evening, parents. My name is Mr. Daly, Brandon Daly. I am the AP Physics teacher here at Eastlake High School. Your students enrolled in my AP Physics C Mechanics class, and I'm excited to start the year out with them. First off, if you ever need to contact me, my email address is dalyb, D-A-L-Y-B, @pcsb.org. Taking a look at the outline here, the general grading outline, most of their work is going to be formative assignments. So the majority of their grades, approximately 60%, is made up of labs, class assignments, bell work, and quizzes, weekly quizzes or biweekly quizzes, just to make sure that they're staying on top of the material. And 40% is going to be unit tests and lab tests as well. So more of their work more of their grade rather is focused on classwork that they can correct and that they can work on over time, as opposed to assessments at ends of units. Okay, so what is AP Physics C? This is a calculus-based college-level physics course. It covers kinematics, Newton's laws of motion. We go into energy, systems of particles, momentum, rotation, circular motion, and gravitation. So basically the foundational classical mechanics of Newton's time. Okay? So most of this course, because it does qualify as a college course and it does qualify to potentially give your student credit for both lecture and lab, laboratory investigations are heavily weighted in this class, about 25% of the total time. So pretty much 1 to 2 days a week we'll be doing labs during this school year. And because of the technological advances available to your child, your student's phone or computer can be useful devices. So if they feel comfortable using them, your student will use their phone to take slow motion video of things that are moving and use it to calculate distances and times traveled and whatnot. So they'll be able to use that for their lab calculation. So it's helpful. And if they have a computer or iPad that they want to bring from home to do coursework on some of our online platforms in class instead of using one of my classroom computers, I'm perfectly fine with that. Some of the activities we'll be starting out with, I said this class is pretty lab heavy, so some of the things that they've done already, we did analyze the motion of a tennis ball as it falls to the ground. They had to figure out mathematically the relationship of how high it bounces back up once it hits the ground. One of the labs they'll be doing in the near future, they'll be predicting how many rubber bands a Barbie doll will need to, when dropped off the second floor balcony, how close Barbie can get to the ground without hitting their head, and calculating exactly how many rubber bands that they'll need to make that happen. So some of these first labs, we start to hit the ground running, and while they're reviewing their calculus, they'll be putting some of this to work in a hands-on interactive environment. AP information for the class. The AP Physics C exam is scheduled for noon, Tuesday, May 10th. Your child can receive college credit for this class. They must get a 3, 4, or 5 out of 5 on this exam. And as a result, that would qualify them, at least in every Florida university, for credit for this class, depending on what their requirements are at the end of the year. Any information or any more information you need, you can visit apcentral.collegeboard.org. Some resources that are available, I always have parents ask, what are some extra things I can get my students so they can be successful? They will have a link to the textbook in a PDF format online. I also have hard copies of the textbook available, so if they want to check one out at any time, they're able to do so. They are pretty hefty, so the online version is definitely a helpful resource. Some extra study books. There is a book titled 5 Steps to a 5 for AP Physics C by Greg Jacobs. There's a standard version. I believe there's an elite version as well. You can find them on Amazon or bookstores. They're relatively cheap. They're less than $20, and it'll give them a good overview of exactly what they'll need to study for the AP exam to be successful. So to wrap up here, the cost of science equipment is sometimes high, and a way for us to kind of have that is, of course, to request donations if parents are able. Don't feel obligated in any way. If you would like to support my personal classroom directly for your students, I have a class wish list to make the classroom a little bit of a more homely, friendly place since they're here, every day of the week. Or you can adopt my class directly, and that will help replace physics equipment or other materials consumable materials that we use throughout the year, including masking tape, measuring tapes. Things break, things get stretched out, overworn, and just well used. So anything that you would be able to do to help your students and myself would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I thank you for your time. I thank you for attending. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at any time, dalyb@pcsb.org, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.